Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it, guys. So the video today is how will the R-73 and the AIM-9M look like. So we just got the Python 3 being added. Of course, it was added for less capable aircraft in the sense of not having BVR or radar missiles or anything like that, or even due to the performance of the aircraft. But still, I really think that the AIM-9M and the R-73 are on its imminence of being added, right? So let's talk about the performance of these two missiles and how they compare to missiles in the game right now. So R-73 first, pinnacle of 80s IR missile technology. G limits of turning would be 40 Gs, around 40 Gs at least. There are some sources that claim that in certain situations it could get to 50, but I wouldn't believe too much. It's normally 40 Gs, it's the most accepted number. The range is around 30 kilometers, but that's just max range. The Delta V is very much the same or very close to the Python 3, with a main difference of a 5.5 second burner instead of the burner sustainer situation on the Python 3. So a little bit different. Uses TVC, thrust vectoring systems. It's a little pads that they use for basically thrust vectoring the fumes of the engine, to actually make it turn better. Of course, it can do even up to 40 degrees of off-board shooting with the FOV, but the gimbal limit of the missile can be up to 75 degrees, so very, very good. It can be able to be used with HMSs, and it has even an IR-CCM. On the bare minimum, it will be the same level of IR-CCM as the R-27T, so it will change the FOV after the lock, making it less prone to having flares on its FOV. That's pretty much it. So better than most missiles in the game right now, but it's not perfect. At longer distances, the FOV will still go for flares, okay? So this is the performance of the R-73. So compared to what we have in the game, levels of turning, very similar to the Python 3. Of course, it has the TVC, the thrust vectoring, which would make this missile a lot better, especially initially, I think, on the sense of turning off-board, because of the thrust vectoring, it can get to the 40 Gs much quicker, and basically maintain the 40 Gs for a lot longer than the Python 3 would. Another thing that you have to consider is that the Python 3 missile has a much shorter burn range, burn time basically. So has around 3 seconds with its burner and sustainer, and the R-73 is around 5.5, which means that the Python 3 should accelerate a little bit faster. It has a lot more power, so it should, in theory, in a short range department, get to a target quicker than the R-73. But the R-73 probably has a little bit more on an advantage on the range department, having more range and being able to deploy better the turning capabilities with its thrust using the thrust vectoring system. And together with the IR-CCM that it has, it is much better than the Python 3 that basically has nothing in the game right now. Just a normal ECCM or whatever Gaijin's calling these type of systems that they use with the Magic 2, the R-60M, the AIM-9L, and the Python 3. So all of these missiles, have this minor thing that they use with a kind of an IR-CCM, but it's not really, like it's coded in game with gaps of IR frequency or something like that. But still, it's not proper IR-CCM. So the R-73 should have that, plus changing the FOV. Very early type of IR-CCM, but it is an IR-CCM, right? And then we go for the AIM-9M. 1980s upgrade of the 9 Lima, obviously. American-made missile, obviously. There are some sources that claim the initial models of the 9M could do only 30 Gs, but most sources claim 35. So the number that you have to think about is 35 Gs, okay? In the level of performance and engine and stuff, should have the same engine as the 9L in the sense of energy, but with a low smoke engine, so it should be less visible in the air. They should add in that little red square that they actually add when the missile is burning, maybe changing the color for a grayish kind of situation would mean that this missile would have its advantage of being less visible because more grayish colors are less visible for the human eye than a red color coming towards you, right? In the peripheral views and stuff. So it would make it a little bit harder, not by much, but a little bit harder maybe for you to just notice that a missile is coming, or you would take more time to notice, at least in the game, on RRB I mean, right? Of course, flight performance would be basically the same as the AIM-9L, but with a little bit more turning capability. That's pretty much it, right? Off-war can be done with radar slaving and some HMSs depending on the aircraft, in more modern aircraft than we have in the game right now, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken, let me know in the comments which aircraft can actually do this right now that are in the game, but still, it shouldn't be something very much possible, okay, for now. And then the IRCCM of it is present as well. It is better than the 9L, so I don't know what type of IRCCM it uses. For example, the R-73 has a changing FOV kind of situation. So after it gets a lock, it goes for like from 4.3 degrees of FOV, inner FOV, to like 1.5. So any flares that get into the FOV will be basically something that the missile will go for. So the less size you have on an FOV, the less prone it is for going after flares, right? So the AIM-9M should have some form of level of IRCCM like that. Of course, more advanced missiles like the R-73M, I know that they have a frequency ignoring system together with INS. So for example, if it detects a flare that it's from a different frequency than the engine, it can actually turn its seeker off and ignore for a little bit of time and turn it on again while it's flying with INS, right? So it's a much better system that probably will be introduced with way better missiles. But right now, the changing in FOV should be the only type of IRCCM we will see, because we are still in the 80s missiles, so it should be like that. And that's it for the AIM-9M. So how they compare to each other and to the game's missile? I think the AIM-9M specific, AIM-9M, the mic, would be basically the same as what we have with the 9L, right? Having a smokeless engine, if they add that feature, would be a little bit harder to see, but with the turning capabilities being a little bit better. The main thing would be the IRCCM. It would be a lot harder to actually avoid a missile such as this, which is already a scary thought because the 9L is one of the worst missiles to avoid for the defending aircraft in the game, right? So it would be basically the same aircraft turning a little bit more, which is a lot dangerous, right? Together with a very good IRCCM, so it would be very dangerous. Although the R-73 at the same time would have the same level, at least the same level of turning capabilities of the Python 3s, but probably better using the thrust vectoring systems, you know, so you would probably go up to 40 Gs and maintain that 40 Gs for a lot longer than the Python 3s, having a lot more range than even the AIM-9M, not a lot more, but a little bit more range than the AIM-9M even, and also having the capabilities of already in the game if added, being able to do off-board shooting with its thrust vectoring, HMS, everything that it has, right? And plus, on all of that, the IRCCM, which would be one of the best in the game as well, probably together with the AIM-9M and the R-27Ts, but still way better than the Python 3, for example. So these two missiles are very scary, guys, and with the current state of the MatAWG 2 and the Python 3, unless both of these missiles get you know, buffed or anything like that, the R-73 I think will be the best missile in the game by far, and the AIM-9M coming afterwards, not that long back, you know, just losing certain situations of really short range turns and dogfights in certain situations like that. So very scary two missiles, man, really, really is, and it makes you think and understand why they probably didn't add it yet. It will create a power creep if it's not balanced correctly, right? So hopefully they take their time to actually think about this. Hopefully it's added very soon as well, because I really want to see especially the R-73 in the game. Who doesn't, right? And yeah, basically this is it. Let me know in the comments, what do you think will be the most OP missile when added, the R-73 or the AIM-9M? And let me know if I got something wrong. You always find something that I can't find, but I try to be as truthful as possible, okay? Anyway, let me know in the comments, and I see you guys on the next one. Subscribe.